I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Hey, you're muted.
The new intro, gotta love it.
By the way, for those who didn't know, Ryan provided the visuals for that intro. Finally, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. So we got a lot to talk about today, Ryan.
We do.
There's a lot of things going on in the world of college football, more specifically with Notre Dame, with Michigan. I imploded Saturday. You might have, I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah, I did. I got a kick out of it, you gotta say.
I was not happy. In fact, I was upset. I was the Maize very mad, man. That was upsetting, I will say that. But moving on from that, we got some good news too. It's not just bad news. Bad news follows good news. By the way, I almost had to cancel the show. As you can see on my arm here, I'm bandaged up.
Oh, geez, what happened, man?
I ride my bicycle to and from work.
Okay.
Because I live like that close, right? And it was raining here today. I'm coming home. I thought I was 13 again, going downhill. Hit the brakes as I was turning. Wheel just went from under me. Ooh. And I went one way, the bike went another way. I can't, my right shoulder, I can't really lift up right now. So after the show, I'm probably gonna have to go to like urgent care or something, check out what's going on with my shoulder. But nobody cares about that.
Hey man, you know what? For all y'all watching right now, give Phil some credit, man. You're Triple M, like your host with the most.
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, he came for y'all. So,
bro,
pause. He showed up injured for y'all. He showed up injured for y'all. That's
I'm injured, man. Look at that. I should be on IR or something, but I'm here for y'all. I do this for the people. You know what I mean? Speaking of the people, I see my guy Antoine Johnson is in here. I'm not going to spill the beans on what's going on. Hopefully my guy Moose joins later because we're going to have a digital hug it out session between Antoine and Moose. Moose, if you're out there, join the conversation because Antoine and Moose, it kind of went left, and I want my brothers on the same accord, right? Oh. Michigan, all Michigan for the same
Michigan
goal.
Fans got into it. Wait, where's my popcorn? Man. I gotta read these comments.
No, I wasn't in the comments. It was actually a private. We were in a private group thing on Twitter actually, and it went.
By the way, really quick, Phil, we got to start doing spaces when the season gets on here. We got to start doing Twitter spaces. We got to. That would be hilarious.
For sure, we definitely gonna do some spaces. So we good now. At least we gonna speak it. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Because it went left, like I said, for a second. So, but that's good. That's good news. As you can see, in my title, Phil, 3 times, of course, 3 times a play on Maize Madman, 3 M's, of course, but 3 times 1,000 subs. So I want to thank everybody. We reached 3,000 subs just recently, so thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. And I got some fans that sent some stickers here to the wall. If you DM, I can tell you where to send anything you want on the wall. So let me know. Just hit me in the DM and we'll get that situated. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of talking, Ryan. What's going on?
Not much, man. Really quick, just wanted to let all y'all Michigan fans know, me and the boys over at Research Production dropping that JJ McCarthy highlight video this week.
Yes,
that
sir.
should be up either later today or tomorrow. So please be on the lookout for that and tune into that. I think you guys will greatly appreciate stuff that comes on there. But either way, we got some bad news for both of us in terms of a certain 5-star defensive lineman that
Yeah, man.
we both love to talk about on this channel, Justin Scott.
Yeah,
Came out. Well, I don't know really what the quote means because he said still at the top.
yeah,
So I don't know if that means like they lead. Like, does that mean they're still at the top with other schools?
right,
But regardless, Justin Scott just came off as official in Miami. Spoke volumes, and spoke very highly of Mario Cristobal and the staff during his visit.
right,
He is taking his official visit to Ohio State, or as we like to call them on this show, the other state, this weekend. So I don't think really the other state is too much of a contender for him at this point,
right,
from everything that's gone on past few months. But the key thing Justin Scott said was he's thinking about committing this summer. So I don't really know how that looks. I think if he commits this summer, that's not looking very good for Notre Dame or Michigan. I think the goal is to try to get him into the fall uncommitted.
yeah,
I know Notre Dame and Scott has been reported are trying to set up a date in either the middle of July or late July for him to take an unofficial.
right.
So hopefully that we can get that in if he does commit in the summer and we get the last shot at him. But how are you feeling about it?
So to be fair, I'll be completely honest here. Going into his official visit, I wasn't very, if I'm being honest, I wasn't optimistic that Michigan would be able to, sway his opinion on, who his top
Mm,
schools were at the time. It was Notre Dame and in Miami.
mm.
After the visit, though, there was like a small glimmer of optimism, but I also understood, he had visited Georgia. He's spoken highly about them too, so I got to throw them in there too. But
Mhm.
I still thought it was like Miami and Notre Dame to lose. And as time has gone on since then, I feel like Miami is really like, you know, where he wants to go,
Mhm.
personally. I think his mother wants him to go to Notre Dame. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the happy medium would be Michigan. Everybody wins. It's not too far from home. Right. And
It's an academic school.
right. So I feel like that would be the happy medium. So, but I agree with you. If he decides in the summer it's not going to be Michigan or Notre Dame, they want that thing to go out into the fall at least. Notre Dame, it would be great if you guys could get them on campus for the
Yeah,
the
he's got
game
an
against
OV.
the Buckeyes.
His OV is set up for the
Right.
Ohio State game. So I'm just hoping because we know what Michigan beating the other state has done for them in recruiting the last couple of years.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame can get him on campus for that Ohio State game and beat Ohio State, he might just commit right there.
Yeah.
I think we lost Phil for a minute. I think he's lagging. Phil, you good, man? Hey, man, that Wi-Fi. Yeah, we're talking about recruiting, Josh. Nice of you to join. Let's see. No, Phil. Somebody got to take a screenshot of this. This is hilarious. Phil's Wi-Fi is now acting like his shoulder, and that's for sure. And now I'm the host of this show, so I'm sorry, but I'm taking over. If only I could pull up comments. That would be great. Antoine, what do you mean by he's been given Notre Dame this cold shoulder? It's not really the cold shoulder with him. It's he hasn't taken an OV to Notre Dame because he's been there 3 times in the last 6 months prior to when he started taking his OV. So it's not really that. It's just more like a proximity thing. But like we said, Notre Dame's gonna get the final OV for him. Anyway, let's see. At Antoine, Tim Prangley was talking mad in the Michigan show. Let's see. We will get the last. Oh God, here we got Jason Moose and Antoine going at it in the comments. Hey Josh, nice of you to stop in. Like I said, how did the Elite 11 turn out? So Jaden Davis, obviously I know you guys are pretty high on Jaden Davis. I think he's a very good quarterback as well. Not better than CJ Carr though. According to the Elite 11, I believe Jaden Davis finished top 5 in day 1 and day 3. I believe he's actually top 3 for day 3. However, at his pro day was kind of the thing that hurt him overall in the Elite 11 camp. I believe he was like outside the top 10 in terms of the grades that they gave. So CJ Carr, though, I believe he finished top 5 every single day. He was top 3, tied for the top 3 for the pro day, which was day 2 with Dylan Raiola. So overall, Jaden Davis ended up finishing lower ranked than CJ Carr. I believe the overall rankings.
Thanks for holding it down.
I got you, Phil. I got you. But no, overall, like I think CJ finished at 4, and then I believe Jaden Davis overall finished 5. So it was, but I mean, we saw on-3 ranked, we saw 24/7 ranked. It's like a lot of these people. It's I've seen a lot of people get upset about it. I got upset about it a few times, but I mean, overall, these Elite 11 rankings don't really mean anything when these kids get on the field. So, but
I don't know what the conversation necessarily is about right now.
I was just describing them about because they were asking about the Elite 11 finals and how that went for Jaden Davis and CJ Carr.
Oh yeah.
So I was basically just letting them know like Jaden Davis finished like top 3, top 5 in day 1 and day 3, but day 2 was kind of where that really hurt his overall grade.
The pro day.
CJ Carr finished top 3 in in pro days, top 5 in day 1 and day 3.
So yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know. The internet just took me, it swallowed me. Pause. But yeah, I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so let's get into these. Let's get into the topics, right? We got a couple of topics. Let's start with Notre Dame getting a commitment today from 3-star safety. Did you see that? Hopefully, I know you're a Notre Dame guy.
Tabron, Benny Powell. The fan base is not too excited about it. We lost that recruiting battle to the mighty Duke Blue Devils for Paul Menke.
Right.
Still stings, but Tabron, he's out of Lakota West High School in Ohio. He went to the same high school as our 2023 safety commit, Ben Minnick. So I personally really like his tape. The thing with him and like why he's ranked so low, he's ranked outside the top 1,000, is if you watch his tape, last year he played with Ben Minnick, who was a high 4-star safety for Notre Dame. And then on the other safety spot, they had a top 100 recruit that ended up going to Ohio State.
Right.
So he's a safety, and there was no way he was beating out playing time with 2 top-tier safety recruits. So this past year, he played a lot of like the Viper position, which is very, very out of position for him.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of like Brandon Hillman, where Brandon Hillman was last year, where he was very disrespected in the rankings and then has a really good senior season. Because the reason he even got an offer is because he came and camped at Notre Dame. Freeman liked what he saw. He had a 4.59 40-yard dash as a junior. And I think that's actually better numbers than what Kyle Hamilton had at his pro day. So he's got the measurables. He's 6'2", 190. So I think that's really good for a safety. He's really athletic. But yeah, I think he's the best thing about Tabron to know is that his brother is named LeBron. So
Good one. Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Steph. Seth, I'm sorry. Said my Wi-Fi hit the ground harder than me. I don't know, man. I hit the ground pretty hard. My shoulder is in real pain right now.
Well, you
But
got to
the
pull up that
Wi-Fi
comment, man. You got to pull
that
up that comment from Josh, man. That
oh from
it's weird seeing Ryan in a show. I thought he went to Barstool because y'all held down the floor last week.
oh yes, we had to hold you guys down
Hey,
last week.
man. He said everybody went to. They really are at Barstool.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. But no, like, well, I gotta hear it because I know you went on your rant during your episode.
Yeah, man.
What happened with Boo Carter, man, and Aaron Childs?
Okay, so to be fair, Boo Carter was a coin flip, right? We knew that going into Saturday. I did feel like we were in a decent position, but mute your mic. You could have muted your mic. You just out. Anyway, doing too much with my arm. Coin flip. We ended up losing. That's fair. I still think the coaching staff is going to continue to recruit him. So there's that. With Aaron Childs, though, that was like a slap in the face. It was like Aaron Childs walked into Ann Arbor, slapped Jim Harbaugh's mama in the face, and left. That's how shocking that was. Like, it was that shocking because he had been a long time Michigan lean, and it just was all of a sudden, Florida picked up Aaron Childs, and that's why I was over the.
I'm guessing
deep
with Florida it was the
one.
bag. I'm assuming.
So being in the position that I am, right? Because I feel like I have, 3,000 people subscribed to my channel. I don't want to necessarily paint pictures of people. I've decided, I've tried to like go to take a different lane here. So there's a lot of the rumor that the bags are being dropped in Florida, right? And I'm not going to say that the bags are not being dropped in Florida, but I don't know it for sure myself. So that's that. Also, there was a rumor, I don't know if you heard this one, about RJ Moten, who entered the transfer portal, ended up going to Florida, and his negative recruiting of Aaron Childs while he was there. So that was a big rumor that is either, you believe or you don't. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, because this is actually proven, we know what kind of money Florida offers when they offered that $13 million
right
to Jaden Rashada,
right,
and the money just somehow did not appear.
yeah. He was checking. He kept checking his account. He's like, I don't see it's not there yet.
The 13 mil. I'm out of here, man.
Bro, you remember I don't know if you've seen Semi-Pro, but the dude won the check for 10,000, giant check, 10,000. He makes a half court shot. And he's like, yeah, you gotta just take it. The bank said, they couldn't cash it. He's like, yeah, you gotta take it to a bigger bank. Like, that's the kind of checks they were giving to Jalen Rashada last year.
They were like giving out money that they didn't even have.
Right, it's crazy. 13 million.
They left Jaden Rashada a note on his dorm room that said, "I owe you."
Right. Yeah. Your meals are on us. Crazy.
Man, he's like, nah, man, I'll just go. I don't even need money anymore. If I want to play for free, I might as well just go to Arizona State.
Right. Yeah. So you guys pick up a safety. Michigan, on the other hand,
has that running back, right? That
we did. We get a 3-star Micah Kaipana. Now, and I know in my video on Saturday I sounded a little disrespectful to Micah, and I want to apologize for that, because I didn't mean no disrespect to Micah. In fact, if anybody remembers, and people in the comment section can vouch for me on this, months ago, maybe a month or two ago, I did a video and it highlighted Micah Kaipana, and I said then that he was underrated. I mean, the guy rushed for over 1,000 yards at a national powerhouse with only 71 carries. Like he's averaging close to 15 yards a carry. So he's definitely a beast. And I sounded very disrespectful because I kind of was like, oh, we got Micah Kaipana. He's not Taylor Tatum. So I want to apologize to Micah Kaipana if you are seeing this, sir. Looking you in the camera here. If you're seeing this, I apologize. So
wait a minute. So Antoine, are you saying Micah Kaipana might be better than Taylor Tatum?
yeah, Antoine's been saying that, and I'm not gonna go that far.
I wouldn't go that far,
but he is good. I will say that. I think he does certain things better than Taylor Tatum for sure. But Taylor Tatum is the number one running back for a while.
Who said Chili's? Did I say Chili's or did I say Childs?
Yeah, he's been calling them Chili's too. So
welcome to Chili's.
Yo, that group text or chat we were in was lit the other night. By the way, since both of you are here, Moose, John, Antoine, we need that digital hug. We're gonna do
we
a
need
digital
that digital
hug,
handshake,
right?
Of respect.
Kumbaya, shake hands, slap hands. Anyway, but Michigan has a chance to land the top 2 recruits in the state of Ohio, and that's Aaron Scott.
Aaron Scott gave you all the. Aaron Scott hit y'all with the Elijah Rushing statement. He's like, they did the best they could to make me feel.
That was only one of his quotes, though. That was only one of his quotes.
I know, man. But like when I read that, I'm like, man, like when a recruit says, because that's what Elijah, he said, Marcus Freeman and all the recruits, they made me feel at home the best they could. I'm like, yeah,
but he's just not a talkative guy like that. Like I'm just chalking it up to that because I do feel like, they, from all the accounts, they knocked it out the park.
Isn't he an Ohio State fan? Like I thought I heard.
He's not. He's the one that's an Oregon fan. He had an official visit to Oregon the week before. He grew up an Oregon fan. His father is a other state fan, and that really, he's that close to.
I think Lucas is very. He thinks they're gonna get Scott. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a chance. They did all the right things. They got all his favorite candy. And Oregon is Oregon. You go to Oregon and, speaking of bags, impossible bags, Oregon is definitely at
they
the top.
They got the McDonald's bag there.
Right. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens though. But Bryce West, a lot of people were very down on in the last month or so, but it looks like Michigan did a really good job with him. He's back on campus, I think, today for an unofficial. So on his own dime, he's back on campus before he goes to his official in Columbus this weekend. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so for Notre Dame, we had one of our last official, big official visit weekends. We had 2 of our top of the board recruits that came. Vilimu Asa, we talked about him on the show before. Top 100 linebacker, number 8 linebacker in the country.
Don't let him go to Florida.
He doesn't even have Florida in his top 3.
Good.
His top 3 is Notre Dame, USC, and Ohio State.
Okay.
So he took his official last week to USC, spoke very highly of USC. Came to Notre Dame. His mom, another one of those kids where his mom wants him to go to Notre Dame.
Right.
He's kind of like, almost his recruitment kind of reminds me of Manti Te'o a little bit because he's got a Hawaiian background.
Yeah.
And he grew up a USC fan. He's from, California, obviously. So he grew up a USC fan. But he's a very smart kid. And he said he had a lot of questions about Notre Dame in terms of where he was in his recruitment coming into the visit. And he said Notre Dame, quote, absolutely smashed it out of the park and answered every question he had about Notre Dame. So he's going on his OV to Ohio State this weekend, but everything points that he's going to end up at Notre Dame, which if you look at our top of the board recruits for this class, right below CJ Carr, Elijah Rushing, Cam Williams, and Justin Scott, he's probably number 5. That's how good he is and how much Notre Dame values him. So I'm hoping we can lock him up. And then we got Malcolm Ziegler, who, depending on who you look at, he's a 3-star and 24/7, but On3 is very high on him. Has him as the number 5 safety in the class, top 100 player. Looks like it's between Notre Dame, North Carolina, and South Carolina for his commitment. So hopefully we can pull him out of the Carolinas. But other than that, I mean, Notre Dame has Tay Johnson, who's going to commit in a few days. It looks like Notre Dame. So, hey, man, I just want this year recruiting class to be over, man. I just want it to be football season.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Kylo in Miami Kane says, damn, Darian Mayo canceled his visit. That's a fact. Darian Mayo,
really?
4-star edge out of Our Lady Good Counsel. I don't know what that council in Olney, Maryland, who's a teammate of the linebacker Aaron Childs, has canceled his official visit to Michigan this weekend. In fact, both of them were supposed to be on campus this weekend. Obviously, neither one of those officials is happening now. So looks like Michigan is going to miss on Mayo too, which kind of hurts. I'm going to be honest with you.
It seemed like you guys were going to get Childs, Mayo. At one point, it was looking like Scott was pretty good shot. Boo Carter, Bryce West. I mean, it seemed like you guys were just gonna get everybody.
You're just gonna,
No, it legit seemed like you guys were gonna get everybody.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So, it looks like money talks. I can't, can't make any qualms about it. It does look like his teammates' decision to commit to Florida affected, his official visit.
Play with this. Well, was Notre Dame or not Notre Dame? Was Michigan involved with his teammate or no?
Yeah, his teammate was Aaron Childs. Aaron Childs was a surefire Michigan lean. So all that changed in a matter of and how fast you can return from the bank with a stack of money for.
But it's okay because Phil, you know that Aaron Childs is probably going to be in the transfer portal next year when Florida goes like 5-7 or 4-8, because they are getting. You realize who their starting quarterback is, right?
Right.
Graham Mertz.
Yeah.
That's their quarterback.
Yeah. Well, Florida for sure this year isn't going to be very good. We know
they're going to be trash.
Yeah, they're not going to be great at all. But they got a chance in the coming years with what they did. Unless it turns out like Texas A&M, we saw how that turned out a year ago. So we'll see what happens. If you are in the live, make sure you like, subscribe, share the chat. Go over to week 0. We didn't get to simulcast. We're going to start simulcasting this. I don't know why we haven't been to this point, but we're going to simulcast the week 0 so everybody can go over, watch the show live on week 0 from now on. So be sure to follow the guys over at week 0. No problem. So moving on, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, may lose his entire foot now due to the complications from a foot surgery that led to him losing a couple toes and now could lead to him losing the entire foot. What's your take on it?
I feel like that was just the era of which he played in. I feel like the 90s to kind of that early 2000s was kind of the last of the, we're going to play through every single injury. I mean, how many guys back then played through torn Achilles, MCL tears? Like, it's just, I think that was just how it was back then. And I think, obviously it's kind of sad. People in this chat have given me crap for, I don't like Deion Sanders very much. But overall, this is bigger than football, and it's sad that this guy is going to lose his foot.
Yeah.
But I just hope that he's still able to coach.
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't end up that way. But yeah, prayers and shout out to Deion.
For sure. I feel, same way. It sucks that, this is what it's come to. Michigan man matters. Yeah, and unfortunately, man, and what's so crazy about it is Deion was such a great athlete when he played both baseball and football. So you just remember him as this guy running around and being faster than everybody. And now seeing him even now like hobbling around on the sidelines is just so different than what you remember him as from being a child anyway. So, but again, hopefully it doesn't come to that. If it does, then speedy recovery for Mr. Sanders. But moving right along, Michigan is now the underdog to win the Big Ten to the other state, according to 24/7.
What?
According to
Well,
24/7.
okay, Phil. I mean, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
We all know Steve Wilfong, is a big guy that runs 247. He's an Ohio State fan. He has
Yeah.
family that literally goes to the other state.
Right.
So we can't just take anything he posts in terms of the Big Ten or anything regarding to Ohio State and Michigan with just a grain of salt. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Here's the thing. I do think, in my personal opinion, I think 247 does the best job.
With
Now,
kids that aren't, if they're not Ohio State commits or targets, then yeah, they do a good job. But
right. And I agree with what my guy Twan is saying here. Who cares about what people think? Michigan is just stupid for them to be picked. I agree. I agree with
I mean, it's
everything you
stupid.
just
I'm a
said.
Notre Dame fan, and the fact that if you think Ohio State is better than Michigan this year, I'm sorry, but you need to get your brain cells checked because
Yeah, I mean, this year of all
that
the years of these previous 2 years, including this year, which would be 3, this would be the year that I would think it's certainly not that Ohio State wouldn't be favored
I mean, I
to
can
beat Michigan.
understand the last couple of years because C.J. Stroud was just amazing,
Right.
but you've got an unproven quarterback that's going to start for the first time, or well, not start for the first time, but against real competition, he's going to start for the first time. So, hey, but they got 5-star receivers, Phil. So
Yes, they do. Apparently, they're gonna block,
they're
tackle.
going to play defense too.
Right, they're gonna do everything for them. And to their credit, they're really good at recruiting receivers. They got a stable full of receivers. I think that offensive line is gonna be trash again this year. They're not a very good. They're breaking in a new quarterback, and though we've talked, Ryan, about this back and forth, especially when it comes to when you guys play them and Sam Hartman versus whoever they're starting at quarterback. Is it Devin Brown?
It's good. From what I've heard, it's that what's his
McCord,
name?
Kyle McCord.
Yeah, Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord is going to be the starting quarterback. Who, I mean, has started one game in his life in a
Against
meaningless
Akron.
game. He's played.
Against
He's played a couple meaningless snaps. So, it's kind of disrespectful actually to have them favored against Michigan this year. It just shows the continued disrespect that Michigan deals with season in and season out.
And also the fact that, is it they still kept it to where the game is the last game of the year, right? They didn't change that.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's still the case. And
I mean,
the actual schedule really hasn't changed this year from to what it's going to be in 24 and 25 moving forward.
Who knows what either one of those quarterbacks is going to be by the end of the year? They obviously could improve. Who knows? But Michigan's just far and away the more talented team. And I think if there's one team you could maybe even have like the tiniest of argument for, like the slightest of arguments, it might have been Penn State. Outside of Penn State, nobody in the Big Ten is beating Michigan.
Well, we agree again, and usually we don't agree, and I don't agree with you a lot, but we agree again. I think Penn State is the most dangerous team. We're getting the other state in the big house at the end of the year. It's probably going to be a couple flurries, and you know how the other state,
y'all
melts
are probably going to blow them out
when it snows. So, they need their track stars to be on dry ground and the sun shining. Although that's exactly what the conditions were last November. Whatever excuse they're going to make up, they're going to make up this year too. But I do think Penn State is our biggest obstacle. We're playing on the road. Granted, now it won't be a night game because Fox messed that up. Thank you, Fox. We won't have to deal with the whiteout, so that's great.
I'm just so excited that Notre Dame's going to be the first test on that Ohio State schedule that's actually going to be a threat.
But yeah, I'm still trying to decide who I want to win that game, or I'm sorry, more important, who I want to lose that game. But I don't want Ohio State to have any success. So if they could lose every game, that would be great. It's unlikely, but
you know what? And people might call me like stupid for this, but I think that Western Kentucky game for Ohio State, might actually be kind of a struggle, because if we remember correctly, Western Kentucky has had the number one offense in college football the last 2 years.
That's fair, but
and their quarterback came back. The same quarterback that broke Bailey Zappi's record in just one season. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to beat Ohio State,
right?
But with how bad Ohio State's defense is, and I'm just saying Western Kentucky could be a sneaky team in week 2.
I think I'm going to travel to watch that game, to watch the Notre Dame, the other state game. I'm going to watch that game at Dallas fans' house.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised that he didn't make his way in here. I don't know. I'm
Josh,
a
you can call me stupid,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
My co-host calling me stupid, but no, man. Like, what was it?
Oh, for the Western Kentucky take? Yeah. That's a crazy thing. I mean, you do something. We be on the same page, and then you say something like Western Kentucky is going to beat Ohio State. So
I know I didn't say they beat them. I said it'd be a struggle. It's not going to be like as easy as a game as like playing Rutgers would be.
Yeah, I understand. All right, man. We got about 15 minutes. Let's take some questions in the comment section. If you have any questions, anything you want to add, ask, go ahead. This is your time. This 15 minutes.
And really quick, I did want to mention one more thing. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. I think I sent you the story about NCAA football, about the lawsuit that was just placed against. Evidently, the College Football Players Association wants each player to be paid $15,000 each to be in the game.
How much?
$15,000.
Come on.
That's why they're suing EA.
Every player, right?
Yeah, every player.
Right.
From the walk-on to Caleb Williams gets $15,000.
Bro, Antoine, no.
See, Antoine's my boy, man. Like, he always comes in clutch when I need
It's still Western Kentucky. With Western Kentucky athletes.
Hey, man, Bailey Zappi, don't disrespect.
I'm not disrespecting Bailey Zappi. I'm not even. I'm just saying it doesn't look great.
What?
Did he commit? What's going on, Groove? Tell me what's going on.
Ask Miami about cover 0.
Right.
Remember, they ran cover 0 against Middle Tennessee State. People thought that.
Oh my God!
Torched.
Well, the other state played. They got burned in cover 0 against Michigan last year a couple times.
Yeah, man. You can only use cover 0 if you actually can get to the quarterback.
Oh, Seth.
Can you say Marshall?
Seth.
I can't tell if Seth is a Michigan fan or Notre Dame fan or a troll. Like, I can't tell.
No, I mean, look, that's fair.
Watch him. He's probably a Michigan State fan. He's probably a little Bro-Nem fan.
Little bro, no, nah, definitely not little bro. You know what's funny is we haven't had any fans of little bro them in these comments since we've been doing this. They stay far, far away from here.
They're hiding under a rock right now, man.
Right. I even get some, the Ohio State fans. This is how I know they're panicking. By the way, if you're a Michigan fan, this is how you know the other state fans are panicking. They're in the comment section on the Maize Madman channel relentlessly now, right? They stay in the comment section now. It's a couple of them that I know by name now. That's how often they're in there. So they definitely feel the heat.
So Seth, okay, I was just wondering.
Just want to know what's the holdup. Yeah, same groove. It is time for him to, do the proverbial business or get off the pot. I agree. Either way, commit to Kentucky. Don't commit to Kentucky. Commit to Michigan. Don't commit to Michigan.
Put that Jorge or Jorge. Put his up there because we need that comment. Instead of money, every college football player should receive a free meal from Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Man. Give them all a McDouble. There we go.
Everybody gets a burger. Because Jim Harbaugh don't believe in chicken. Straight beef, whatever. Chicken's a scared
you know
bird.
What? He'll throw in a free pair of khakis too.
Wow.
Oh man.
MFC fans live on false hopes and dreams year by year.
I actually don't think Will Bronham fans even exist anymore. Like they have no social media presence at all.
Nah, they've got a small contingent on Twitter that tries to throw around Mel Tucker's record against Jim Harbaugh every now and then.
But you know what's hilarious? Like, On3 has their own individual team sites.
Yeah.
Michigan, there was somebody on the Notre Dame board who, they had Michigan State, Texas A&M, Auburn has one. And they were talking about, those boards used to be so active, last year. And they're a ghost town. They actually shut down the Michigan State board.
That's hilarious. Poor little bro them. Poor little bro.
Ghost town, man. They just got tumbleweeds.
That's crazy. I love chicken. Shout out to Lee's famous rap. Man, yo, that's a Midwest classic right here. Lee's famous chicken.
I've never heard of that.
It's in Ohio at least. There's Lee's famous chicken. And I grew up, of course.
I'll have to try it
in Ohio. But that's good chicken right there. I'm a fan of chicken too, but also, as you could tell, got a very good tan. You know what they say about us tan people and chicken. So
Antoine said, "Stop messing with my little bro."
Word.
You think Michigan fans would ever come to the defense of Will Bronham fans if the other state fans were trolling them? Or not?
No, you're not gonna protect your little bro. This is what's weird about Michigan State that I don't understand. They will jump in front of a bullet for an other state fan. When Michigan fans go on the other state fans, I mean, when Michigan fans go on the other state fans, Michigan State fans come out of the woodworks taking the bullets for them, but Mel Tucker's 2-1 against Jim Harbaugh. So we're actually talking to a real football fans of a real football team here. You guys run along now. It's crazy.
You know what's crazy? Even when they beat you guys, was it last a year ago when they had Kenneth Walker? I
know the history of
they didn't even
baseball. So, full disclosure, I am not a Yankees fan. This hat,
what is your
just
team?
happened to be blue. I'm ashamed to say what my baseball team is.
Cubs fan?
I'm not a Cubs fan. I am a Cincinnati Reds fan. Although they are on a win streak right now.
I'm a Cardinals fan. So 29.
See, Yeah,
Hey man, I hate the Cubs more than I hate the Reds. So
that's fair. That's fair. I
um,
hate the Cardinals though,
well,
because they did a lot of winning. Uh,
by the way, just gotta say because I went on vacation to St. Louis last weekend, and I
yeah,
went to the game against you guys. I sat like really like a row behind the dugout for the Reds. I got to see Ellie De La Cruz up. That man is a beast,
they
a
are on a
freak.
tear right now.
He's a
Yeah,
freak of a human being. I mean,
yeah,
dude, he's gonna be the next like MLB superstar.
yeah. Michigan State trolls with Ohio State because they can't troll for themselves. They lean on somebody else's accomplishments. Very definition, a little bro, right? they try to hide under the shade of a Buckeye tree. That's disgusting.
Oh man.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us in another live.
Yeah.
We covered the topics pretty quickly. We
We
ran
didn't
through
have
those
as
pretty
much to
quickly
talk
today.
about.
Yeah. With really, this was a week where I should have had a lot to say.
Well, you know
But the
what, Phil?
pain in my
We still got
shoulder.
time left.
Okay.
Give us your rant on the Elite 11 because I gotta hear this because you didn't go too much in about it on your episode because there was a lot of other things that happened. But I gotta hear your rant on the Elite 11.
So this is what I got to say about the Elite 11. The first 2 days, right? Uh, well, first of all, let's talk about the services that put out different information, right? There were literally services that didn't even have Jaden Davis in the top 11, right? But then there were services that was like, oh, he's in the top tier with Rayola and Sand. And I'm like, yo, like, which one is it? It can't be both of them, right? Somebody literally said he's throwing the ball better than everybody. Like that was literally a quote from one of these services. And then somebody else was like, oh, he was all over the place. So I'm like, it can't be both things. Now that I've got the services out of the way, and Elite 11 is the only service I guess we should have been paying attention to because it's their function, right? Now that I got the services out the way, though, the most important part of the Elite 11 to me is the competition portion where he excelled, right? The 7v7, he was very good, 100% touchdown rate, 4 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, completing over 70% of his passes with live bullets. And now, granted, nobody's, it's not like he's under threat of being really sacked. And I'm talking about physically sacked or anything like that. But, it's still the closest to real game competition that they have over the 3 days. And he excelled at that. And somehow, the pro days seem to be weighted more than, a situation
well, I think
like
the
that.
pro days, it's because they put on the pro days they give you 20 passes, and they have you for every so if you do 5 passes per round, and they have you do different things. Like for one of them, they'll have you like kind of on the move, where like you kind of got to run to your right or your left and make a throw. You have to do like they time you on your drop, like your one,
Right.
2, 3, an out, your accuracy, under center, shotgun. That's what they like. CJ Carr, I think he was like 18 for 20 on the pro
Right.
day, but they said that the knock on him during the pro day was the 2 passes that were incomplete were the ones where he had to kind of
Move.
roll out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's not his strength yet, is rolling out.
Yeah.
But when he's able to set his feet, they said he was like one of the top passers, like with Rayola.
Right.
Jaden Davis, it seemed like it wasn't even like he couldn't make the throws. It was just with his pro day, I think he went 15 for 20,
Right.
but his passes kind of sailed on him. They said he had one of the best arms in the Elite 11, but it's just there were times where when he would have to move out of the pocket, the ball just kind of sailed on him a little bit. Sometimes it didn't go far enough.
Antoine loves CJ Carr.
But the 7-on-7, I kind of agree. I think that's obviously the most game. But overall, I mean, I think CJ Carr and Jaden Davis were pretty much tied together. I think they proved that they're top 5 quarterbacks.
I agree, and I think that not a lot separates them. I'll say that. If anything, and just on average over the 3 days, CJ Carr had a little better of a weekend, or a 3 days.
I mean, wait, on 3 had him at 9.
Well, yeah, I have no clue like what the service. They all have an agenda though, so I got to keep that in mind too. Like, on 3 clearly has an agenda. Speaking of on 3, he who will not be named was accused by another Michigan insider for another service of bad mouthing Jaden Davis and his family. So it's all a mess. So, but just know that they all have agendas, and it seems it's pretty disgusting.
But
so,
overall, like Elite 11 themselves, I believe had Carr at 4 and Jaden Davis at 5. So
yeah,
that's all that matters. I think it's actually, if you look at their grade that they had over the overall grades for the 3 days, the fact that CJ Carr and Jaden Davis had like close grades, like this much disparity between them and Dylan Raiola, who's a 5-star,
yeah.
I think CJ Carr and Jaden Davis prove they need that 5-star back. They need that 5-star back for sure.
I want to get to some of these things really quick. I think now this is a great question. Over under 2,500 yards combined for Corum and Edwards. Remember, Moore said he'd open up the playbook. That's true, and I think that's actually the proof, right? If they are under 2,500 yards combined, then we know that Michigan has obviously opened up the playbook. If not, then it's ground and pound as usual. It's a Jim Harbaugh offense. And Jim Harbaugh does like to run the ball. He does like to get big, meaty guys, and we've definitely got big, meaty guys in the trenches. So I think we're going to run it. I'm going to be honest with you. It may be closer to 50-50, but lean running the football is my guess. And I'm going to say at or over 2,500 yards for them combined.
Yeah, I think under 2. I was actually this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because there was a thing where the top 10 odds for the Heisman race came out. And I know Michigan fans were upset because Blake Corum wasn't on there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that a lot of analysts were saying was they don't even think Blake Corum's the best running back on his team. They think Donovan Edwards is better. So I don't know how you view that as a Michigan fan. I don't know who you guys personally think is the better running back.
I think it's a split. I think it's split. Honestly, I think a lot of people think Donovan is better. I personally think that Blake's a little better, but I can't be. If somebody said Donovan is better and laid out an argument, I couldn't be mad at it.
I mean, and because one of the arguments also of him not having Corum on the list was a lot of people think that Michigan's going to be kind of wary the first few games of him, like after coming off of such a severe injury like he had. Do you think that carries any weight? Do you think Michigan's going to be a little cautious the first couple games with Corum?
Maybe. I think it depends on what fall camp looks like. He's supposed to be a full participant come the fall. I want to address this. Seth, this is a good point. 2,000 yards is a ton for 2 running backs. When did you see it?
They've been within yards of it, and that's okay. So you said, I think we lost Phil again. 2,000 yards is a ton for 2 running backs. When do you see it? They've been within yards of it, and that's a lot. Basically, you guys ran the ball a lot last year, and they were really freaking good, and they still didn't hit 2,000. But as we wait for Phil's Wi-Fi to come back on, Antoine says it's going to be under Jim Harbaugh. All right, that's going to be under Jim Harbaugh is not going to run them into the ground. Not to mention, we get Benjamin